What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're not gonna be reviewing a car. However, we're gonna be reviewing something with a nice set of wheels. This is my new lawnmower. This is hopefully a 2025 model year, I would assume so. Toro 21-inch self-propelled recycler. This features a 140cc Briggs & Stratton engine with 5.5 pound-feet of torque. This model is also rear-wheel drive with 10-inch rear wheels, and you're gonna see 8-inch front wheels. We have adjustments for the front height as well as the rear height, all manually adjustable, super easy to do. It can go from 1 1/4 inch to 3 3/4 of an inch as far as the height for the deck. Some cool features with this mower is the fact that it doesn't have a side chute. So I'm very used to having this one coming out of the right side, which means when I do the perimeter around the house, I have to go in a counterclockwise direction. That way the chute obviously isn't hitting the house, and that way I'm able to just ride it nice and close to the foundation. So after just 2 laps, the mower has conked out. It literally stalled on me going through it. I don't know if I'm driving it too fast or not, but if I try to pull start it, it almost feels like the engine is locked up. It is not pulling over at all. But if I pull this over, you can see how the blades, maybe they're just stuck. That does actually look, wow, that is insanely stuck on there. As you can tell, hopefully I don't get my camera chopped off, but I don't know, maybe I was just going too fast. The blade has completely conked out. So all that cleaned up, hopefully it'll start this time. Maybe the blade just got stuck. All right, that is a good sign. So with the mower still running, that is good. I was worried that maybe I put too much oil in and like it got hydrolocked or something. But from here, we're just gonna loosen this now. I think it's going too fast where it's not clearing itself that good. So loosening that up a little bit, this spring, you can kind of feel it go through the plastic slide. And I'll give that a shot, get back to it. So let's go ahead and put the bag on, because clearly this can't handle any sort of extra weight of grass inside. So I think it just kind of locks in. All right, so we'll give this another shot and see if I can actually do a lap. $400 versus an 8-year-old that was only 150 bucks back in the day, and less power. So let's see. All right, so that is really not working. Let's see how much grass is in here already. But as you can tell, that is a lot of grass. All right, time to check out good old reliable, this old basic mower. It might take a couple starts. All right, that is wild. How is this just gliding through, cutting like butter? This thing can't do literally anything, no matter what. So I guess you need a chute on this for it to be even useful, but look at that. That is absolutely ridiculous how clogged up that thing gets. So I am honestly in disbelief why this isn't working even in the slightest. As you can tell, like, yeah, we got some thick grass. It's literally so thick, the whole inside of this is like completely clogged. Where the blade is, it is completely clogged. That fills up in literally 100 feet. So I would be emptying that a million times. I mean, it would take me all day to do this. This is crazy. Yeah, so I may not be the most lawn savvy person, mower savvy person, but a self-propelled, bigger deck, all that good stuff, you would think would work significantly better. Now, they do make a chute for this, which is sold separately, of course, which I could add, which could solve every problem, and it might be perfect, and that might be the one reason why this isn't working. But even with the bag on, I mean, you really expect me to go 100 feet and empty that every time? So unfortunately, we are starting to lose some light. So I'm gonna have a half mowed yard for the rest of today and probably tomorrow. So with that said, I did raise the height of the new mower to its highest setting and then just did a couple passes with the old mower at the higher deck. Yes, it is working just fine. It is very fast, which is really sweet. However, it's so high and it's not getting clogged at least, but it's so high that it's not really even cutting the grass. So as you can see on the left side right here, all of this is the old mower, which is the height that I've always been doing. But as you can tell from right here, and don't laugh at the weeds and stuff, it is what it is. But that is only a couple inches off. It doesn't really look all that good. Now the first one is a little low. So yes, maybe I just had it a little bit low. As you can see with the brown, that's not good. The second two were the next size up, which is about where I'd want it to be, but it still started conking out after about 2 or 3 passes. And then when it didn't conk out, we're up to here to where it barely even looks mowed. So let's fast forward about 2 weeks now. So here's the thing with this Toro mower. It doesn't come with a side chute. You have to basically, once you buy this lawnmower, register your device on Toro's website, and for free, they will send you the side chute, which is mind-blowing that Toro wastes the extra money to package it up into this, to send this to you later when this absolutely could fit in the original box. That is just very dumb on Toro's part. Now keep in mind, throughout this video, after the last 2 weeks, I've been doing more research on the competitive lawnmowers. This isn't a video bashing the brand. This was just the one that I happened to buy. I like that it was red. It matches my Craftsman stuff, so I thought it would look good in the garage with my red stuff, and this is just the one I picked. DeWalt makes one very similar. It has a 150cc engine versus 140. However, it has 8-inch rear wheels versus the 10-inch rear wheels. Price pretty much the same. That one comes with a side chute. So that is probably the best direct competitor to this exact mower. The DeWalt one I watched some videos on, similar grass to mine, it's still gonna get clogged up. So basically, if you're gonna do mulching with any kind of basic push mower, you pretty much have to have perfect grass, just not thick. My grass isn't the greatest yard in the world. However, looking at the several hundred houses in my neighborhood, my grass is probably above the 50% mark. So I'm better than probably half the yards here. However, there's a lot of yards here who would look like golf courses. So an average yard mulching really isn't that practical unless you're gonna mow every other day, which I'm not gonna waste my time doing. As far as installing this, all you do is lift up this chute, and there's 2 little hooks that the chute will hook onto, and then it basically just sits like that, and we have that rear mounted chute. Now what I will say is pretty neat about this rear mounted side chute on the old mower, obviously that's gonna stick out like 6 inches, which means I can only go in one direction around the house, and that's always hitting stuff given it sticks out so much farther than the wheels. All right, so first impressions, not the best on this mower. However, using that side chute, doing 2 perimeters, wow, this thing is like a tank just plowing through bumps, given it weighs so much more than my old mower. I mean, that is an absolute breeze to use. So now with that said, now that I'm starting to like this mower a lot, let's do a couple tests with the old one versus the new one. Normally this is coming uphill, so normally it gets really thick and it's just harder to push the old mower. So we'll do a couple tests and just see the differences between self-propelled versus a little old push mower. Obviously pushing uphill, already a couple snags. Again, it's possible, it's not the worst thing in the world, but definitely have to push it and give it a little bit of muscle, which can be not the greatest. The goal is to do this quicker and quicker. And then with that side chute, it does leave a thick trail all the time. Definitely makes you put a little muscle into it. Again, this is a lot of resistance, hard to tell. I mean, it does the job, but it doesn't make things the easiest. And then on to the new mower. I like how it's so easy and maneuverable without the drive system on, but on a steep hill, I can be next to it and just pull the trigger. And it's an absolute cakewalk. Once you let off the throttle, it's really easy to pull in the reverse direction, because there are definitely several times where I need to pull it. Pulls back with 0 resistance, and then again, it's really easy to stay on the side of it, that way it doesn't run into me. I mean, not even an issue, no sweat broken with this. And because it has the side chute the way it's designed, it does a really good job blowing all the stuff kind of out more, so it's not just clumping up in a thick pile right next to the mower. All right, so what was supposed to be a simple unbox and a quick mow with my new self-propelled mower turned into a 2-week ordeal, all because Toro doesn't give you a side chute in the box, which is still a really dumb decision. That gives you a very bad first impression on this mower. However, like I said, I've learned some things. Realistically, the mulching, which is just letting it kind of blend up and lay flat, is ideal for like really thin grass yards, really smooth, really simple yards, I would say, with like perfect grass. My grass in a week, it gets really thick, and that's just not practical. So not necessarily the mower's fault that it was stalling out. Again, the DeWalt one, which is a competitor, I watched some videos on it, it was stalling the exact same way. So with the chute though, this thing works fantastic. It literally is like driving a tank around the yard, barely break a sweat, you just let the mower do its work. Only challenges are, it is a lot heavier than my old one. So some of the maneuvering, takes a little bit extra effort. You can't really just slide it around on the grass. So you kind of have to be a little bit more deliberate where you're pointing it, like going around the utility box, things like that. It's a little heavier, but that does translate. This thing just tackles bumps and anything very easily. Now, the only downside with this rear mounted side chute, when you're making left turns going back and forth, I've noticed due to its higher location and being in the back of the mower, you're gonna feel it kind of blowing the grass on your feet a little bit. Not the worst deal, but just something to notice. And since it is much higher, it blows a lot farther than a little one on my other mower. So if you were to be going right next to your house with it blowing at your house, it's gonna get in your face a little bit. So for me, I don't really mind any of that. It seems to work really well. And I just had to reverse the direction that I normally go around the house for the perimeter. And given its weight, given the wheels are wider than the deck, I gotta be a little bit slower around the brick pavers that I have lining the house, just because the wheels keep hitting them. Versus my little one, the deck is actually wider, so I can just slide it around. All right, so my ending thoughts now for this self-propelled Toro lawnmower. I give it a 10 out of 10 as far as how it works with all the complete parts necessary to mow your average yard. It really does exactly what I was hoping it to do, and I like how it's just gonna be a breeze to mow now. No more struggling pushing the old one around, so it does a really good job. However, again, it's missing the most important thing for your typical yard. Again, if you have a perfect yard, you probably won't even notice it, and it'll work just fine without the side chute. But your average yard, at least in my area, you need that side chute to be a functional mower. The fact that they don't give you that is one of the dumbest things ever. DeWalt throws that in as you would expect. So I'm almost tempted to return this and buy the DeWalt just because of that, but I'm not gonna waste the time with it. I like the red, it does work well, and I like the big wheels. So there you guys go, my first lawnmower review. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are a lawn mowing enthusiast or a landscaping enthusiast, this is not the channel for you at all. But nonetheless, if you are a new home buyer or something like that, and you need something that's pretty decent without breaking the bank, seems like a good job. Just register it ASAP and get your chute. That is it, guys. I will see you in the next video.